Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys. It sound right, boys.
Bror Fredrik coming at you live from the studio. How's everyone doing today? I'm looking forward to this. I got two topics to talk about. First, I'm going to say hello to a few people. What do we got? 78 people? That's pretty friggin' awesome start. I got two topics to talk about today, and we did touch on them while I was walking around, but I wanted to touch on them in further detail. And the two things being the supposed 7,000 homeless people that currently inhabit Las Vegas, and the other one is the mask issue, whether masks going to be coming back to Las Vegas, the casinos, like we saw right after the shutdown. That remains to be seen, but we're going to get into it. And I got a few comments about that too, that certain people heard certain things, and so I wanted to get into all that. But first, let me say hello to a few people. All right, looks like 99 people in the house right now. And had an absolutely awesome evening last night. Caught up with friends from the show, some of our mods. So, truly awesome evening. All right, let's say hello to Sony for the Joy of Vegas, Cleveland, Maria, Mary Leathers, Janice. Can't believe you're home already, Janice. Maria, Marie Bell. All right, let's keep them coming. N90, Joseph Q, Janice with the 5 Bananaramas. Yeah, I know, right? But we had a great time, and April's going to roll around quick, and thank you very much, and I appreciate everything that you do, and I appreciate the good company. James S., Lee, Keith Bubba, Sylvia, did the Art Flowers. Oh, I listened to those MP4s while I was driving. Not all of them, but I listened to them. That was cool. Angry Sweet, Tom Mack, Rod, Angie, Cindy. Let's see who else is here. I have the Stroll Gambol show. Excuse me. Venus. Jim Wolf. All right. Let's see who else is here. I think I'm almost caught up. Tom Mack, Angie Burt, BSKY, Share Love, Milo. All right, I think we're looking good. We got 121 people on. So, shout out to everyone who's still in town. I hope I will be catching up with you later. I will let you know shortly. But we had a good night last night, listened to some live music, hung out. I did a live stream last night. It's about an hour long. You can catch that down, I don't know, the description, wherever. But it was hot, and it was muggy, and today is even hotter and even muggier. And it's, I think it was 108 according to my car. And I don't know, my car doesn't tell me humidity, but it feels muggy AF. Val Marie is in the house. And smash the hell out of that like button. In fact, do all the stuff. Because I'm going to invite you to like, share, subscribe, and, whoa, who's that guy back there? And hit that bell button to get notified when I do this again, which is at least 5 times a week. And if you'd like to support the channel, you know how to do that. You can follow Janice and drop a super chat, super thanks after. You can click on any of the links in the description below. You can check out my channel partner, Tish Hanley, for the best damn men's face care products known to man. 5 minutes out of your day less than a cup of coffee a day, and you will look freaking awesome. 30% off. There's a link in the description off your first order. Absolutely awesome. I use it. Highly recommend it. Guys, look your best. You don't have to look like an old catcher's mitt. And don't forget my other channel partner, which is Olight for the best damn flashlights. I was just using one. Something fell out of its socket back there. One of my lights. Where the heck was that? I was just using the damn thing. Hold on. All right, it's over there somewhere. Oh, it's still down on the floor. I'm not gonna get it. One of my adapters fell out of the power switch, the power strip down there. I was like, what the F is going on? Wait a second, I got an Olight. I might need an Olight for the rest of the week too, because the power company sent a text and an email today saying that tomorrow they're gonna shut off the power between 9 and 3, and then again on Friday, 8 and 2. The whole area, which they showed it on a map, and it's like a 3 mile by 3 mile area, and they said, we know the inconvenience, it's gonna suck, but trust me, it's the best in the long run, and all this other bullshit or whatever, but I'm not looking forward to that, so I gotta see what happens tomorrow. I got a plan, but I got freaking Olights all over the place, so you know, whatever, we'll see. Biggest problem is going to be no coffee maker in the morning, unless I get up really early. But check out all those links. And don't forget, it's still on sale. All the old knife selections, which are absolutely freaking awesome. Get a close-up of that. Is that a freaking sexy blade or what? 10% off. Use my coupon code. Let's see if anyone else jumped in. Jessica Strain. Becky, Carolyn, Tom Helm. Right? Isn't that an awesome knife? I love it too. You had yours shut off at 10. That's what they said. They said it's strictly for maintenance purposes because you don't want power outages in the future, so we're going to give you one now. Okay. It's just inconvenient, you know? Not looking forward to it. And it kind of throws a monkey wrench in my plans for tomorrow in terms of streaming. I don't know what I'm going to do, whether I'm going to have power in here. It's going to be weird. So we'll see. Yeah, I got my old bulbs. Like I got 3 of them in here. There is one. That's an old bulb doing that back there. That is another old bulb. If you look over my shoulder right there, can you see that? That one right there is an old bulb. You can't see it. It's doing its thing in the dark. It's kind of shy. I don't know why they plan on cutting. They said strictly for maintenance. Yeah, keep the fridge closed. I mean, I don't know what I'm going to do. I feel like it's going to be like camping in here. Excuse me. The biggest problem for me is going to be the heat. Like right now, you know, it is, I got it on 68 and this room is still... this room is 74 because of all the lights. It's going to be so much nicer as it cools off. But this room struggles because all these things that you see in here toss off a tremendous amount of heat. The rest of the place is hovering, even though it's on 68, it's hovering around 71, 72 because it's so damn hot out. But once that goes off, no AC, it's going to shoot up to like 90 degrees inside. So I got to figure out some place to go hang out. I don't know if I'm going to do a live stream from somewhere or pack up my laptop and iPad and go sit around. I have no idea. Bror, do you mind if I ask for prayers tomorrow? Going to go see our oncologist to see if he thinks I do or do not have lung cancer. Yes, indeed. That is a big deal, but God got you covered. All right, let's give a moment of silence, toss up some blessings for Angela. All right, there you go. Go in there with confidence. Know that you're in his hand. All right, let's see who else. I hear one of my hard drives ticking, and it's absolutely freaking me out right now. Sugar bud. When a hard drive starts ticking, it's never a good thing. It's one of my backups to the backups to the backups, and I hear it going tick, tick. I should pull it out. I just noticed it before I turned on the live stream. Now it's going to bug me. Mark 1, put a few bottles of water in the freezer. Yeah, good idea. Good idea. I got food maybe like a week and a half ago, so it's not full, but technically I can't open it, so that's gonna be beat. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go out and have coffee somewhere. I'm gonna have to get up freaking early. They're gonna shut it off at 8. That means I have to be up at like 6 to shower with the lights on. Well, I got no light. BCDC, Kelly. Ba, 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 ba. You guys are so awesome to one another. Lady Luck Slots. How does the mic sound? Is it too close, too far away? Ron Radio. Mike K. That's cool how you guys care about each other. That's so apparent. Let me adjust myself here, and we'll get into a conversation. I got another video. You know what? Tomorrow would be an opportune time to finish up a video that I have indeed been working on. It's sort of like I'm doing a State of the Union address as far as the channel as a whole and everything that's going to transpire, plans that I have, things that I want feedback on, and stuff like that. It's half done. So tomorrow probably be a good opportunity to finish it, because I'm going to do it half on the strip and half in the studio. The studio end of it is done. That's a great idea. Whoever just came up with that. Was that me? Is that distracting back there? That's kind of bugging me out. Mic sounds good. All right. I don't like it like dominating the shot, but I do like the sound of it closer. All right. Shall we get into it? What great idea. That's a great idea. Well done. Okay. All right. Everything's good. We'll be in town Sunday. What's the weather looking like? Sunday. It's freaking hot. Not gonna lie, it is supposed to be Sunday, being Tuesday. It'll probably be like 103, between like 103 and maybe 106, 107. A little bit on the humid side, probably not as bad as today. This is the peak. We have about another week or so of the 105 plus or minus temperatures, and then it's supposed to dip back down under 100, and it'll probably stay consistently under 100, by the second week in September, which is pretty cool. But you're looking at some heat, so stay hydrated and all that other good stuff. Let's see. Q5 audio. Not bad. It's distracting in the back. All right. Yeah, because it's me. That's weird. Hold on, let me fix that. I'm tending to agree with you. I actually had some Buffalo playing up there. Let me get rid of that real quick. Bonk. And bonk. Yeah, I don't want you distracted. I want you focused on what we're talking about over here. All right. It's 106 out now. Yeah, I believe that. Starting Friday, temperatures drop. Yeah, well, that remains to be seen. I hope so. Don't say no. Okay. Let me clear my throat and let's get into the topics at hand. Like I said, I got 2 topics I want to cover today, and stick around till after these 2 topics, and I want to show you some stuff that I received from my dear friend Frank, and this is one of them, but I'll put it on. Is that awesome or what? I am in love with this thing, but I'll show it in greater detail. Just stick around. I got some other things that was given to me, and I'm totally psyched to show them to you. So we'll do a quick little mail call at the end. It is 1:15 now. We got time. We got time to do some stuff. I'm gonna crack something to drink to keep me cool. It's so weird saying I have to keep cool in my own house. It's bizarre. I also have the AC vents deflected so they're not blowing directly into the microphones, because that's a hassle too. But once the weather gets a little better, it'll be a little more comfortable in here too. Not that it's bad. I was talking to someone the other day, and we were talking about interior temperatures, and they said to me they keep their house on 77 during the day and like 74 at night. And I was just like, psychopath. That doesn't compute. I couldn't do that. I I can't even think straight if it's like 74 or over inside. I like it cold. I like to do naked snow angels, in my bed. All right, so let's get into it. So we have topic number 1 of today. What is topic number 1? Well, a report came out from the city of Las Vegas that they claim, well, let's spruce it up a little first. Ready? Let's do this. So what we're going to talk about now is the city coming up with this number, claiming that there are, according to their statistics, just under 7,000 homeless people. Currently, they didn't call them homeless, they called them unhoused people. Does that sound better? I mean, I appreciate the political correctness of calling them unhoused, but I don't think if you called them homeless, it would hurt their feelings. So why are we doing that? Number 1, city of Las Vegas. Number 2, if you call them, and I'm speaking of the city of Las Vegas, if you call them, or anyone else who uses that terminology, if you call them unhoused people, what you're actually doing by trying to be so frickin' politically correct is actually watering down the gravity. You're watering down the gravity of the situation. It makes it sound nice. It makes it sound oh so inconvenient. Oh, this poor individual is an unhoused person. No, call them homeless, because they are homeless. People need to hear the word homeless. They need a home, and we're supposed to be helping them. If you call them unhoused, it sounds gentle. It's, whose feelings are going to be hurt, number 1. Number 2, call it what it is. That way attention is drawn to the situation. These people are homeless. Yes, they are unhoused. They are unhomed. They're living on the street. So let's not water it down with flowery words, all the powers that be and all you keyboard warriors and butthurt individuals. Is your butt hurt by saying that? No. Is their butt hurt by calling them homeless? No. They know they're homeless. They don't need your, virtue signaling. They need your help. But I digress. So they say there's about 7,000 in this town. How did they come up with that number? They said that they went around within the community with statistics, and they took a census and all this other. And they also did honestly say that homelessness, unhousedness, homelessness, let's call it what it is at an all-time high here in Las Vegas, which is rather disappointing. So homelessness at an all-time high, they claim just under 7,000. I'm tempted to call bullshit on that, but I'm not out there with a clipboard counting. But you cannot tell me they went into all the tunnels, they went into all the woods, they went into all the places that there are homeless people out there. So I don't know where they came up with their number. I'd be tempted to double it, perhaps, and call it 14,000, 15,000, 10,000. But 7,000 is an absolutely staggering number of people that don't have a home. Now, bear in mind that there are some people out there here in Las Vegas who are homeless, I wouldn't say by choice, but they're not looking to correct the situation. They're out there, they find that life, they've chosen that life over being a member of quote-unquote society. So there's a certain portion that don't want the help per se. They'll take a few bucks from you, they'll take a six-pack, they'll take help, but they're not looking for help to get out of the situation. Some people are on the lam. Some people are on the run. Some people, how would you say, dwell in that lifestyle. And some people actually, believe it or not, enjoy that lifestyle. That's a weird statement to make, but there's some people who say, I'm happier being on the street, no boss, no one telling me what to do. Yes, it's inconvenient. Yes, it's unhealthy. Yes, it's dangerous, but I'm choosing this over being a member of society. So maybe we'll take 5 or 10% who fall into that category. People who don't want to be found, stuff like that. But that's a tremendous amount of people. No plan as to how this town plans on helping them. They produced a number, said it's at an all-time high, and went on to the next thing and scratched their ass a little bit. What is the town going to do about it? The reason why I'm bringing this up is, and I do, a lot of you do know, have experience with the homeless people in town here, because I've endeavored in my own way and through the help of a lot of you out there to help some of these people. I've distributed goods, food, money in the form of gift cards from McDonald's and places like that, water, and whatever I can do. And people have sent me all sorts of stuff over the past couple of years, which I continue to give out. I used to do it regularly on the Strip. Not so much lately, because the people who are on the Strip right now, the homeless, are rather erratic, and I don't prefer to approach them. So I've been taking it sort of off Strip to the people who still are receptive to being approached. So the people over there, and that's because the city has swept the corridor and told the homeless people that they do have to go elsewhere. So the ones who are cognizant of what's going on have moved and found different places to be, though they come and go in the Strip. They're not vagrant on the Strip. They don't want to be trespassed. So who does that leave? The ones who are less inclined to obey the law, more mentally unstable. So that's why I haven't been approaching people on the Strip. I used to even do it live, but haven't done that in a while, and that's the reason why. The problem that I have is this town doesn't have a plan to help. However, this town also is booming. It's absolutely booming. It's been close to 2 years, not just the town, in the state. The state is absolutely booming right now. Over $1 billion just in gaming revenue every single month. Over $1 billion just in gaming. Slot machines, video poker, table games, sports betting, over $1 billion a month. It's been going like that for years, ever since the town reopened again. What else is not being talked about? How much money is being made on the Strip in terms of tax revenue? And you see all the fees you guys are paying on your rooms, the room rates themselves. This town doesn't have enough mattresses to stuff all this money under. They're making money hand over fist like never before. There's never, excuse me, there's never been a period of time in Las Vegas history where the town has been this bountiful. Now, people say that, there was other times adjusted for inflation that might have been better. But right now, dollar for dollar, this town is making a freaking mint. And it's never been more greedy. And we discussed that last night. There's just so much money pouring into this town from all you fine folks and from all over. So the city itself could step up and develop a strategy for helping these quote unquote 7,000 unhoused people. However, let's talk about F1. Now, F1 has come to town like a freaking tornado, wrecked our traffic, wrecked our infrastructure, is taking money from the town at an unprecedented level. You think they came to town, it's going to bring $1 billion into the town. This town's going to be into the hole for about $700 million. They're going to invest half of that money up front to make sure this goes well, to see if the town makes money and inconvenience all the locals. That's not the biggest problem I have, even though it's making life around the strip rather untenable. Right now, they are looking for, one, volunteers. Two, they're looking to employ people to help with said race. And we're going to get to the Super Bowl in a minute. They're looking for people to employ temporarily to help with crowd control, with garbage, with cleanup, with, it's basically menial. It's not computer jobs. It's basically dustpans and brooms and everything. This organization, FUF1, they're taking money from this town. Don't you think they can help the situation as well? Because I think they could on so many levels. If not direct contributions, because, hey, we're bringing $1 billion into town. What about all these jobs? You're telling me that they could not single-handedly solve the homeless crisis? Well, again, let's go back to some people do not want help. Some people are not in a position where they can accept help until they get clean and possibly healthy. But that still leaves large portion of people who are living on the street that would work, that would take one of these jobs at F1. What would that take to do? You say, well, they're dirty, they don't have IDs, they don't have this, that could all be fixed. That could all be fixed because it's a $1 billion thing here. Get everyone an ID, big freaking deal. Most of the people who are currently on the street right now are recent. They have their IDs. Don't worry about it. Shower, shave. How about we buy jumpsuits? Oh, well, how are they going to dress? What's the impression that they're going to have? Number one, they're not going to be that in the public eye. Number two, a jumpsuit. Now, I could hear someone out there saying, hey, Bror Fredrik, that's, kind of, what is that? They're going to be slaves. They're going to be this. You're going to put them in jumpsuits. What is this? Chinese, Communist Party levels? No. Stop. Just frickin' stop. Stop worrying about how they feel. Don't project your shit on those people. They're okay if you put on a jumpsuit. Make it beautiful. Put Ferrari on the back. Put frickin' patches all over of all the sponsors on it. Who cares? Clean up and pay them. And pay them the same money that they would pay someone else. And they could, if they're taking money from this town, they should help this town. Yes, that brings up another interesting point. This town has the highest unemployment in the nation right now. The highest unemployment in the nation right now. So yes, that's a problem. So someone out there is probably saying, well, there's other people who are at risk of losing their apartments they could use that job for 2 weeks, for 1 week, for 18 hours, really? So they should take precedence off of possibly changing someone's life, giving them meaning, convincing them maybe there's a little hope that they don't have to live under a bridge, that they don't have to sleep next to a garbage can, they don't have to eat from a dumpster, that life is good when you have more than one pair of socks. F1 could do that. F1 can single-handedly do that if they chose to. They're taking from the city. They should help the city. But they have this posture of we're here to help you, And then, I got to call out the locals, too, because the locals have been pissing me the F off about this with the whole mantra of, well, it's good for the local economy. Cool. That's freaking Kool-Aid. Every time I hear that, I'm like, you're drinking Kool-Aid because how's it helping you? Okay, how's it helping me? How is F1 helping me? Oh, well, you have a nicer road to drive on now. Oh, yeah, I really needed that in my life. I was praying oh God, please make Decatur better to drive on. I mean, I do, but whatever. Am I making any money from it? No. Will my neighbor make any money from F1? No. Will his neighbor? Will the guy down the block? Will the guy I see at Walmart? Will the checkout lady at the dollar store? Nobody's seeing any of this unquote good for the local economy money. The only people who are seeing this money are the people who are already making money. They're just going to make more of it. So this whole posturing of so good for the local economy, because in the grand scheme of things, we're gonna if we bolster the town, everyone's just gonna do better as a local here in Las Vegas. Bullshit. I call bullshit on that city of Las Vegas too. You know why? We got the highest unemployment rate going. Number one. Number two, this town refuses to pay living wages. Absolutely refuses to pay people living wages. So then they say, oh, well, we got 9% unemployment because people are not finding when your house is about to be foreclosed on and, MGM wants to offer you a job for $13 an hour. What are you going to do with that? Retail jobs in this town pay ass. The casinos, for all intents and purposes, for the lower end jobs, pay horrible. So how about the town with all the money? They can sit there and brag, we're making billions of dollars, and this is $1 billion, and that's $1 billion, there's another $1 billion over here, we're going to build over there, $1 billion here, $1 billion there, $1 billion everywhere, $1 billion. But they won't frickin' pay people living wage. You'd be shocked when you come here and find out how much people are getting paid to do stuff. It was okay a few years ago when you can get a 1-bedroom apartment, and this is like just pre-pandemic, for $800, $900 for a 1-bedroom in a nice area. Now, same apartment, 17 or 18. It is literally doubled. We were hit with the largest inflationary increases, the largest housing increases, the largest insurance increases, the largest food increases, probably in the nation. I haven't seen any stats on it, but I could feel it. I'm paying now to eat approximately $400 to $600 a month. A month. That's not eating out. I'm talking about what goes in my refrigerator. Freaking gallon of milk here in Las Vegas is $7. Yeah, it is nuts over here. Everything is raised. I mean, my HOA doubled. People's rent doubled. When they were down and out on the ground, the town was shut down. They were telling everyone to hide under their beds, and then they doubled the rent. So this town refused to pay a living wage. So the wages have not caught up. The average wage in this town, I would say, should be $25 to $35 an hour to get anyone to do anything and pay their bills. That's what this town would need to pay. That's what any town technically needs to pay. But with the cost of living here in Las Vegas, they should be paying people, I would say, $30 an hour as a living wage. Does this town pay people $30 an hour? Not really. Not really. Not for the people that, you're walking by on the strip. Not for the people who are emptying the ashtrays. Not for the people who are making up the rooms, and they bust their ass and have to clean 21 rooms. And you wonder why there's pubes on your toilet for $16 an hour. This town doesn't want to pay. So obviously it's not going to fix the homeless problem too. But the town is making money absolutely hand over fist right now. So these people with this thing about so good for the local economy have to get off their high horse. It's easy to say so good for the local economy when you're doing well. I have not heard a person who's having a problem paying their bills talking about how good it is for the local economy. It's good for the people who are already making money. Will a cocktail waitress make more during F1? Let's dissect this a little bit. Will a cocktail waitress make more money, and I'm just going to use one as an example, during F1? What do you think? No. Why? Because she can only serve so many drinks. She can only serve the amount of drinks that she's currently serving when F1 comes to town. Perhaps it'll be more steady. Maybe. Perhaps they might give her more hours. Unlikely. Unlikely. Because this town does not like paying overtime. You talk to anyone, they have everyone capped at like 39.8 hours. You know, just in case you clock out 2 or 3 minutes late so you don't pay overtime. This town hates paying overtime. That's another thing that, you know, I should illustrate. So they might just bring in someone else. You know, that's what they'll do. Will people tip more because it's F1? No. No, because the millionaires and billionaires who are coming in to watch all this stuff and the owners of all these vehicles and race teams, they're not going to be sitting at the frickin' Buffalo machine. Instead of me giving them $5 for coffee, they're going to give $100. It's not going to happen. So this whole thing, so good for the local economy, is just it's a smokescreen. It's a mantra that has been driven into the mentality of the people, and everyone's waiting for that rain. For years, we've been waiting for that rain to come. So good for the local economy. Allegiant Stadium. How many of the local people made money off Beyonce's concert the other night? Same people who are making money the whole time. Oh, but more people are employed over there. Are there? Are there? No, this town makes people do the job of 2 people. That's why our unemployment's like freaking 9%. So this whole fix, it's so good for the local economy. We're just waiting for that to happen. We're waiting for it to trickle on. Now, I do believe in trickle-down economics. This town, unfortunately, does not. They believe in, like, sticking it in their pockets and making sure there's no holes in them so it trickles down. You know? So, yeah, the people who are making money are making money. So, can the problem be solved? Yes. Can F1 take a stand and say, listen, we want to help you. We are taking your citizens' money so we could throw a 3-day frickin' event that technically doesn't matter. I love F1, used to love F1, no, not so much. I mean, it's frivolous. It is so unessential to life in general. F1, it's like polo ponies. It's like up in that league. Like, the world will not miss F1. You know, for all intents and purposes, it's a rich person's hobby. Even though I'm into it too, it's a multi-billion-dollar industry that the average person just, isn't connected to the way they are to NASCAR and all the other stuff. You think they'd help? You think they have? No, if they do not help, and I'm going to call out F1, F for you, F1. If you don't help the local people get on their feet by bringing all this chaos to town and all this money you're supposed to bring to town, shame on you. Shame on you for taking our money and not helping the very citizens who live here. Shame on you. So I want to see what they do if they step up. I haven't seen it yet. Oh, we're going to give... First, they were see, this is how ballsy. It wasn't until they got called out. The first call for help for the F1 race was volunteers. They had the cojones to ask for a few thousand volunteers to help us. And their asses got tore up, because we hear that in town here all the time. Everyone's volunteers. Hey, you want to volunteer for this festival? You want to volunteer for this game? You want to volunteer for this golf tournament? You want to volunteer to help us clean this lot? Whatever the case may be. We've had it up to here. Even these freaking casinos. Hey, we were taking volunteers to give us your artwork to decorate our $1 billion property. F you. So this town is finally starting to put their foot down and push back on this. Yeah, there's some people who are like, who cares? I'll go do it. Something to do. Maybe they give me a cheeseburger. But now people are like, fungal, we ain't doing that. Thankfully. So let's have a little solidarity there. But it wasn't until the pushback that they said, no, wait. We'll pay you. So they're going to pay like freaking $10 an hour, $12 an hour. They'll pay as little as they possibly can. But we're, big bad F1 with billions of dollars behind us. But we won't help your town. So F1 is going to step over all the people in the town to accomplish their goal for the next 10 years and continue to take money out of the town because they're taking taxpayers' money. And let's get back to the town for a second. The city. Let's take F1 out of the equation for a second. We need help in this town. We need our streets cleaned. We need waste management situations. We need our parks cleaned. We need outdoor labor. That's all paid for. People are making money off that. Parks department, they could set up a program the same way I'm suggesting F1 can. I'm talking to you now, city. And let these people contribute to their community for pay. And I hear someone out there, one of you knuckleheads or 10 of you knuckleheads, or maybe none. I'm gonna have faith in my audience and say no one's saying it. But, hey, that's like being a slave, and you're just gonna put them to work, and then and they gotta what? They got, instead of being homeless, they're gonna have to sweep the streets, No, it's called a job. It's called a job. Do I have to explain this? Oh my goodness. Anyway, give them jobs. Let me drink this. Hold on. I'm like juggling and I gotta drink it. I'm getting heated. I'm passionate about this. And I hope you people are too. They can give people jobs. They can qualify them. They can put people to work, get them off the street. Because I guarantee you, if they're going to complain about, well, we already have 10% unemployment, so why should we give it to the... Part of that 10% is I see the stages of homelessness in this town very visceral and very up close in my face. Stage 1 is walking down the street with suitcases. All the belongings, they actually have suitcases, some bags with the rolling bags. They had nice shit at one time. I see the suitcases. They had wheels on them, like they were going to, when they went to Disney a couple years ago. They got their stuff packed in there. They're wheeling. They're like, oh my God, this is a new experience. Where am I going to go? They find some place. And then you could see the progression. Then they realize that they cannot drag their belongings everywhere. And they get down to what they need to survive. But they still have hope. You can tell that if you offered them a job or a decent opportunity, they would take it. They would take it. They're in stage 2. And then stage 3 is... when the life grabs them, when they become, I hate to use this word, but feral. And you talk to a lot of homeless people, they don't start heavily drinking or doing drugs until they were homeless. We were all taught, and I was taught, that homelessness, you go homeless by doing drugs and drinking and all the rest of that. I've seen it. I don't say no. But at the same time, you ask most of them, they were just like, I started this shit once I got on the street. Prior to this, I worked at the public library. Brary. I had a job. I was a car salesman. I was this, I was that. And then just couldn't pay my bills. You know, they say now, I'm going to do another video on this. It takes 53 or 54 weeks of income to pay for a year's bills. Hold on. It's only 52 weeks in a year. But it takes 53 to 54 to pay for the year. Kind of an odd thing, right? Anyway, I digress. So the town could give these people jobs. A lot of people would take them. And they can keep our streets clean. That's one of my pet peeves. This town is getting dirty. It is straight up getting dirty. And it's not. I'm not saying that to be an asshole. But it doesn't rain. It does not rain here. So things get dirty. Everything gets dirty because it's dusty. There's millions of people just If you had 100,000 people walking through your house, it would be dirty. If they came in your front door and left out your back door, your house would be dirty. And you'd be hard-pressed to maintain it and to keep it clean. That's what's good. That's what this town is. Even in the local areas, it's hard pressed to keep it clean. And if you had no running water in your house, which is the equivalent of rain, this town needs help maintaining cleanliness. We could put people out there and help them and give them employment. And instead of building like they're about to build in Henderson, they're going to build a $1 billion condominium project in Henderson. Isn't that wonderful? That's glorious that a town could build a $1 billion apartment complex. A condominium complex. Kudos to them. How about some low-income housing? How about some affordable housing to put people in? How about a complex? I'm not talking about, like Starrett City. I'm not talking about making projects like, areas I grew up in, but they could help. If they can build a $1 billion frickin' condominium project where they're going to start at like $2 and $3 million a unit, will they help? Will they say, you know what? We'll give them work that can help us, level land. We can give them the menial tasks that we would otherwise pay others. Oh, the union would have a problem with that. God forbid. You know what? Down the block on that other piece of property we bought that the town gave us a great deal on and we don't have to pay tax for the next fucking 10 years. We're going to build some affordable apartments to offset what we're doing. We're building $1 billion for multimillionaires. But because we're good people, we're going to build this unit over here to house 1,000 families. Is that crickets I hear? How preposterous. How preposterous as a society that we do dumb shit like this. How freaking preposterous that we step over the people who, we can't even look them in the eye. Because then, you know what? If we looked them in the eye, if these people looked them in the eye, they'd be guilty. They would know it. How do you, in good conscience and good faith, as a human being, share a planet, build a $1 billion complex for the wealthiest percentage of people? And I'm not knocking it. If I could afford it, I'd move in there tomorrow. I'm not hating on them. But how do you do that and sleep at night when you have to hire security to keep those people away from your complex? I challenge you to. The A's are coming to town. Are they doing anything? Oh, well, wait. Look, slow down. The A's donated, I think, $10,000 already. They're already at it. They doled out $10,000 to help our Little League team go to the World Series. That's great. It's better than nothing. And a lot of people say, well, it's better than nothing. They could have, just spat in their faces. That's great. You're really part of the community now. You're really part of the community. $10,000. I could give them $10,000 if I wanted to. I just can't afford to. They can. $10,000? That's their budget for like eating out for a weekend or a day. That's nothing. Now they're part of the community. Look how they're helping. Look how they're helping the youth. Oh, just them? I see kids. I see homeless kids. You could be helping. I see families living in cars. You could be helping. $10,000. All right. Cool. But don't talk about how you're now a member of the community and the freaking news channels and this. They kiss so much ass. These news channels. Oh my God, the A's are just such a part of our community now. Shut up. Shut up. Talking to all you news stations out there, just shut the F up. Kissing their ass. Call like it is. Say what I'm saying. That's very nice. But what about the children in this town who can't afford to eat? As you build a $2 billion stadium. So a billionaire is borrowing money from this town. And this town is just like, take our money, take our money, take our money, take our money. It's so good for the local economy. Bullshit. What are they doing? They have no plans to help nothing. I think the A's said that they certain people can use it for certain cultural events. They say, when we're not using our shit, you can host some cultural events. That'll keep that'll keep the natives calm. What the really? That'll keep those people calm. Let them, let them do some country music once in a while. Let them do a rap concert. Let them do a freaking luau once in a while. Keep the natives quiet. That's what they said. And granted, there will be jobs based on that, but they're not new jobs. Maybe they're bringing more union workers into town for 60, 70, 80 bucks an hour to build that thing. That's what will most likely happen. The people who are already making money are going to make money, more money. Oh, they're training? Are they training people to work there? What are the A's going to do for us? Just another organization coming to town to take and to use and to squat. It's like they're squatting. They're just going to squat. That's what they're doing. They're just squatting in the house that is Las Vegas. Taking, plugging into the neighbor's electric, saying F you to the people. How could they, in good conscience, they're going to come here and just, what? They should set up showers and employment centers and mental health clinics and psychiatrists and therapists to fix the problem. They could afford it. No, they need my money. They need my money for something I'll never go to. They took my taxes to build Allegiant Stadium. And yours. And most of you can't even afford to go there. Isn't that a kick in the balls? The most expensive place for like a family of 4 to go enjoy an NFL game. The most expensive in the United States. So take our taxes. Why don't we have like an appreciation day when we could all go in there and have frickin' water balloon fights and see what we actually paid for with our money. I don't even watch football, Ain't that a kind of kick in the ass? But yeah, my money and your money help pay for that thing, and half of you can never afford to go in it. Think about that. So yes, we do have a homeless problem. It's pretty bad. You've seen it. You've seen it with me. This town could fix it. Allegiant had their opportunity to fix it. Bafangul. The A's has their opportunity. Can't call them on it quite yet because we haven't seen it. Hasn't started. F1 has the opportunity to help the problem. Bafangul, the city, Bafangul, everyone Bafangul. Just if you ignore it, it goes away. If you ignore it, it goes. Put up some more neon. The more neon you put up, the less you're going to see those inconvenient truths. They're human beings. They're somebody's son, daughter, brother, father, wife. That's the one that freaking kills me. A society that allows its women to be on the street. It's despicable. It's freaking devilish. We can do better. And I'm calling you all out on it. Not you specifically, but I know people watch. I hear it. I know. Calling these all out. And think. And stop calling them unhoused. You're diluting their problem. You're turning a serious life or death crisis of our brothers and sisters into a freaking Disney quotation. Shame on you. But we can fix it. Unfortunately, it's probably going to have to be grassroots. And that's what I have to say about that. Yeah. Let's stretch our legs a second there. Let me catch up on your comments. Whew. I got that off my chest. Let me see. Oh, didn't know. I thought I might have missed the super chat. I did not. And let's see what you guys have to say. What do you get? Do I prefer seals, raiders, or deltas? Economy of... When you have investors, you can't give money away. What are you talking about? If you have investors, you can't give money away. But the city's giving money away. We're giving money away to the investors. That's freaking dumb. What is my favorite special forces? I will save that for another day. But do I prefer SEALs, Raiders, I don't know. That's for another conversation. But the homeless can fix it. Hope you're not trolling there, Goo. They're untaxed homeless. You're an asshole. I'm getting rid of you right now. See ya. All right. Yeah, we know who watches. Trust me. I look like Howie Mandel? That's a compliment? No, he looks like me. All right, let's see what else you gotta say. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, it's freaking pocket change. Yeah, the Hawaii situation. Oh my goodness. Dun, 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 dun. Diversity is our strength. Yeah, you're correct, DJ. There's yeah, I saw that. Only you can be you. I saw that channel about, yeah, I know the one you're talking about. He goes around interviewing the less fortunate, and sometimes I even water it down because I don't want to hammer it too hard. And, with the algorithm and whatnot, is what it is. But yeah, there is one channel out there where they interview them and they go through the stories and what they've attempted to get out of and what they, why. And yeah, when they come across the young people, that's the one that gets me the worst. Some homeless are homeless due to mental illness. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Burns. All right, I think we covered that. No chefs or servers for just one day. Negotiations start. Yeah, celebrity chef. I don't think a lot of people know that most of these celebrity chef places in town, like Bobby Flay, I was playing craps with him the other night. Bobby Flay's name is all over town. Guy Fieri, or whatever his name is, blonde dude, his name is all over town. You see all these celebrity chefs, Giada, their names are all over town. They don't own those places. They're getting paid, depending on the deal, approximately like 5, 6, perhaps 7%, sometimes net, sometimes gross, of the revenue generated. And they just, plaster the name up there. They're not their restaurants. The only one that what's been historically proven in this town, and you see with Martin Chen, very famous restaurateur, he actually owned his place, closed. Sometimes management, because they'd be willing to cut corners and do things that, like they'll take rendered, dry aged fat juice and put it over a regular steak and tell you it's dry aged. I'm not saying this town does it, but there's a lot of, if the chef actually worked his own property, he'd be less willing to cut corners, so there'd be less of a margin, and he would probably pay the people what they were worth because he was interacting with them. So, whenever a celebrity chef owns his own place in here, a lot of times they just go bust. The ones that are just getting paid a licensing fee, just like on the slot machines. When you see rich, crazy Asians or whatever, Ellen DeGeneres on a slot machine, she didn't make the damn thing. She doesn't own it. They were just like, hey, can we use your name? And we'll give you 5% of the profit just to use your name, because they know people will draw towards it. And then they'll figure out how to run it afterwards and pay people the least amount of money and spend the least amount on beef and all the rest of that, which the actual chef will not. So yeah, most of what you see in town is strictly a licensing deal. But yeah, they should kick in the properties themselves. That's something I said during the pandemic, because the town on average probably holds an enormous tonnage of food in their refrigerators and in their coolers and in their freezers. And the town was closed for 3 months? What'd they do with all that food? What'd they do with it all? Pour it down the drain? They couldn't have taken it home. They could have gone out in trucks, in their beautiful MGM and Caesars trucks, and just honked the horn, meh, 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 around the neighborhoods and passed out food. They were telling people, stay your ass home. Nobody was working. They could have distributed millions of, let's just call it tonnage of food. I wonder what happened to all that. Did anyone ask? Hey, what'd you do with all that food that's been sitting around for 3 months? It's got to be bad by now. But I never seen them driving around, passing it out, helping people. I don't know why this town doesn't want to help, It's weird. Cool shirt, what kind? I don't know. That is a good question. I don't. I'll think of it in a minute. I looked at it real. Structure. It's a company called Structure. Yeah, there's a shirt by Structure, and I like it because it's tapered. It doesn't sit like a dress. That's the worst, especially if you have broad shoulders. You want a shirt that tapers, and Structure shirts. I think I bought it online. Go look them up. Just Structure. They make great shirts. Bronze Fanny's Pack. What are you guys talking about? Bum, 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 bum. Mighty Bulls in the house. Because we got another topic to get into, and I do indeed have the time. They old bread is amazing. Yeah, I mean, they technically, what they do with the food is they used to give it to the pig farms, but the major pig farm that all that stuff used to go to, they closed during the pandemic. I don't know what they do with the food now, but they say it's a health issue. Like, there is actually a thing that, the expired food, which is a dumb concept. Oh, it's eat this piece of meat, eat this whatever before the 10th of the month. That's all jive, It really is, because milk can go bad. Whole milk can go bad approximately around the expiration date. But for all intents and purposes, the food's still good. But if they took it and threw it in their dumpster, which they do in these supermarkets, they actually put like fences around it so people can't get to it. They want to prevent people from getting their hands on the wonderful food. I mean, there might be, in the bag of cherries, there might be a few moldy ones, but 98% of them are still good. Feed someone, or the loaf of bread or whatever. They're so concerned that someone might eat from their dumpster and get sick and sue them that they'd rather place a guard. That way nobody gets any, and it just goes directly to the dump for the seagulls and the sparrows and the crows and shit. This country is nuts. This country is literally nuts, and it's probably a lot to do with lawyers. Like, a lawyer would take that case. That's dumb. We don't think of ourselves as a community. Everything's like, fuck you, I got mine, Well, what's the liability concern if someone actually eats some of our Twinkies that we're throwing out? And the lawyers would be like, well, you better make sure that they go straight to the dump. Someone gets a hand on. But that's the FDA. I mean, there's so much unwinding that has to be done in order to correct things that, people like me, I just sit there and I go, what the F? Like, I'm constantly like face palming. You guys face palm? Oh, it's going straight to the dumpster. God forbid someone has a meal tonight. Wacky world we live in, huh? All right, I want a Twinkie too. Yeah, you'd think, but I don't know what the town does with it now, but they could be helping people. But they don't. But we got something else to talk about. Let me see. What time is it? Let's suck down a little coffee. I've been checking out your comments. Attorneys are some of the worst. Yeah. What do they say? Deep down, attorneys are good people. 6 feet. I mean, I know some good attorneys, but for the most part, we live in a very litigious society, at least in the United States. Very litigious. Everyone's looking to, because, okay, I fell on your property. I broke my ankle. You should pay to fix my ankle if I tripped over that pile of bricks you left sitting there, Okay. But do I deserve $89 million because it hurt me a little bit? I mean, come on, everyone's looking for that windfall, the big windfall. People, I think, hope they get hurt or whatever. Yeah, if you F up, There's consequences. But 89 million because I twisted my ankle one day. And now, oh my God, I can't knock boots anymore because every time I try, I think about twisting my ankle. So now I'm mentally damaged. I need $89 million from the property owner. It's only in America. All right. I didn't show. This is part of what I was going to show real quick. You know what? Let's do a quick. Should we do that? Yeah, I looked away. I'm going to do a quick mail call to break up the two topics. I got this mug from my dear buddy Frank. Frank, I love you. This was a belated Christmas gift. Let me see how that shows up on camera. I'm not Christmas, it's birthday gift. Because it was my birthday pretty recently. I think that's absolutely awesome. Let me show you something else. He gave me a lot of beautiful things, a full care package, gluten-free cookies, Tate's, which I love, made out of Southampton. It's like the only gluten-free cookie that actually has snap to it. Gluten-free pasta. Oh, I forgot to show you pasta sauce from Carbone's, which is like absolutely one of my favorite. And you got to dig this. You ready to dig it? Is that the coolest thing you ever saw? I now have a shirt, and the quality of this is just, it's stunningly good. It's got that microfiber kind of, like baby's bottom type feel to it. That's the back. It's a Viking symbols all over, and my name on it. I cannot believe that I actually have a shirt with my name on it. Is that sick or what? I have a shirt with my name. Nothing has my name on it. I mean, I'd have to go back to Sweden to find something with my actual name on it. Look at that. Look at the lettering on that. That is the bossest pseudo-Viking runes letters I've ever seen. I love this shirt. It is the proper size. And I'm going to wear it very soon. I got to toss it in the wash first. Oh, my tribbles over there. And I have a new Mjolnir. I think I have to get a ball in your face to show that off. Look at this. Let's see, how close am I at? All right, that's good enough. Look at that thing. Stainless steel. Runes. A stone. Look at that. Right over my heart. Keep my heart pounding. I love it. I absolutely. I mean, my other ones come up to here. They're technically supposed to be down to here, though, over your heart. So thank you, Frank. I appreciate you. I love you. And I look forward to seeing you in a couple months. And I'm going to call you soon. All right. Was there something else I wanted to show? No. Those are the three things. Let's suck down some more coffee. Put my shirt back on. It's hot in here. It's hot in here. Take off all your clothes. Yeah, they were awesome gifts. Thank you. Frank is so thoughtful. Yeah, isn't that? I mean, just the quality of that piece of turquoise is awesome. All right. Yeah, that was Nelly. See, you guys don't think I know stuff like that. Anyway, we got another subject to get into, and we're doing good on time. It is 6:15, but we do have another subject to get into. So let's get into it. I'm going to take this angle as we get into this subject a little bit. Let me shift some stuff around because I want access to my coffee over here. And I don't give you enough of this angle. How is this angle? You digging it? Yeah, let me scoot up a little bit. How you guys doing? It's a different camera than this one. Obviously. But I like the look of it as well. Okay, the other thing that we got to take care of. Let me shift all my other stuff over here. The other thing we're going to talk about is masks. The good old thing over the face. I mentioned it the other night, and a lot of people there's a buzz that's starting. Someone actually started a rumor that the town is going to go back to putting the thing over the face, the mask. I think I'm allowed to say that on YouTube now. It used to be if you said it too many times throughout the course of your show, they would demonetize you. Imagine that. Imagine that. Anyway, I digress. I think it's safe to say now. Don't know. But there was a rumor started that this town is going to start requiring people to put the thing over the face again. I'll cut to the chase and say it's not happening. It's not happening that I know of or anyone else knows of. It's just not going to happen yet. So let's discuss it. What did that rumor start? Where did that rumor start? And should you be concerned? And the cut to the chase answer on that is yes, you should be concerned. Because there is credible information coming out of the TSA stating that sometime in October, if numbers don't change according to their statistics of this new variant of the vid that is coming out of Canada of all places, it's very odd because usually when a new quote-unquote variant of the vid comes into play, it's usually someplace that nobody's ever going to or has been to, like sub-Saharan Africa or some far-fetched remote place on the planet where, there's no news reporters or anything. That way it can't really be researched that it came from there. Oh, this variant came from Nepal, That's a common tactic because, duh. However, this time they're saying that this new variant has started in Canada, of all places. It's supposed to be the worst yet. It's supposed to be the variant of all variants. And of course, if you already got the thing in the arm, this one it knows. It looks. It's like, oh, you got that thing? You ain't shit. We're ready for that. It's like a more mutated one. So what are they saying also? They're saying basically you're going to have to do more of those. How about that? All right, coming out of Canada, the TSA is saying that if there's no change and it stays on its current trajectory of increase and spread and not contained, they will indeed institute thing over the face policies sometime in October. They were giving it like 60 days or 45 days. I forgot what I read to see what happens. And it's a legitimate thing. It is legitimate. I've read them. You can Google it too. And you will see the documents. Most of them are leaked, but employees were made aware that their mandates that first they would have to start protecting themselves, and then they'd have to enforce that upon the people sometime after the enforcement of the actual employees took place in October. Then if nothing still changes at that point, TSA is going to recommend to the government that at least the airline system go back to the thing over the face. Coming and going. That means everything that you remember. Everything that you remember. Testing to get on a plane. Everything that you remember. Okay. It's credible. It's not BS. It's already started. It's already started in Canada. It's already started in several of our northern colleges. It's already making its way, mandates I'm speaking of, are making its way around Hollywood, which who cares? Evilwood. Whatever happens to them, happens to them. Not that I want things to happen to them, but who gives a shit about Hollywood? Anyway, they're already doing that in Hollywood, the thing over the face. The White House is making recommendations among staff to start putting the thing over the face and, you know, doing a new one of these. But coincidentally, if the old thing that you stuck in the arm and this arm and that arm and between your toes and whatever else you had to do, if that doesn't work or it wore off somehow, how could it wear off if it altered your DNA? Things that make you go, huh? Why don't people think critically anymore? But anyway, I digress. Those are a no-go. So how does this new one that they're going to recommend that everyone, you know, stick all over their bodies, how is that effective now when this thing just cropped up? Whatever. Does some company need money? Does Pfizer need a new infusion of cash? They didn't get rich enough off this at $28 a pop the government paid them? And all the senators and congressmen own stocks and shares in the companies? I don't know, maybe they didn't, maybe they ran out of money. They just need more. I'm just saying. I could be wrong. Will that affect Las Vegas? That's what we're here to talk about. I just had to give you some backstory on it. Yes, it is credible. I wouldn't call it a credible threat. That's reserved for other things, but it is credible. I've read them. You can read the TSA documents yourself. Just go online and, you know, you can read them. They were distributed amongst employees and telling them what the progression is that they will. So once any major acronym group makes a recommendation to the White House, all hell's going to break loose. Whoever, TSA, CDC, whoever the first one to make a recommendation to our current administration, all bets are off. They'll just be like, we'll be back to 2020. We will be back to 2020 if people this time are as compliant, which I believe they probably will be. I think there's a certain segment of our population that would welcome that back because it gives them power to be an authoritarian. I think it'll give people power. They lost power. They're not able to sit behind the counter and say, put your mask on or we're not serving you. We only serve people in our store who have masks. Don't enter if you don't have a thing over your face. I think people miss that. I genuinely think people miss that and would welcome that back. I think people there's a certain portion of people that miss ratting on their neighbors. Oh, I saw they had a birthday party and those people weren't wearing masks. Let me call 1-800-MASK police. They're out there. They're still out there. They're quiet. They're looking around. They're waiting for this to happen. Don't let it happen. Don't let it happen. I'm not going to tell you what to do. We'll say that for another day, but don't let it happen. But let's bring it back to Las Vegas. Will this town comply? It complied the first time. It complied the first time in a grand way. The government told them to jump 3 feet. This town jumped 5. When this town was told to jump 5, it jumped 7. When this town was told to jump 7, it jumped 9. It was compliant. I mean, they did everything except truly mobilize the National Guard. This town, our last administration, the last Governor Buzzkill, he was all over it. And you go back and look at some of my old videos reading what he said. He'd say, come out and tell the public, his constituency, other fellow human beings who share the earth with him, You haven't seen me pissed off yet. Go ahead and try that stuff leaving your house and going shopping. You'll see what I'm gonna do. That's the horror show that we just left, and this town followed suit. This town, when I say this town, MGM, Caesars, they forced their employees to get the thing in the arm or get fired. They took away people's livelihoods and tenures for not wanting to take an experimental jab and whatnot against their, whether it was just that, whether it was a religious thing, whether it was a moral thing. Town didn't care. AMF. I think MGM alone, correct me if I'm wrong, you can Google it. I'm not like reading stats right now. I think they fired like 5,000 people, like 10% of their workforce. They told them, don't come back until you get the thing, and adios. They lost all their jobs, possibly their houses, who knows. Then the funny thing is they hired back people. They hired all those people back for like half of what they were paying everyone who got fired. How convenient. Anyway, will they do it again? Will they be as compliant? Honestly, I don't think so. Were you expecting me to say that? I honestly do not think so. I think this time there'll be pushback. Why? One, the timing of everything that this town has going on. The timing of F1, the timing of the Super Bowl, the timing of the A's, all the projects that are currently planned for this town, the fact that the state is making over $1 billion, like we spoke about previously, per month, just on gaming, just on Buffalo and Lightning Links. Are they willing to give that up? That's not speaking of all the other revenue that's being generated. It's not speaking of any of that. So what would we call that? $2 billion? $3 billion a month? That's an enormous amount of money that I don't think this town would be willing to put in jeopardy again, because this town is riding a high that it's never faced before, an absolute high. So I don't think so. Plus, we have a different administration. I'm not completely sold on where he stands, but at the same time, a lot of his stances are fair. Like he's the least partisan governor that I've experienced, or possibly, I wouldn't say politician, but that I've followed. I mean, he supports left causes and right causes. Like he'll handle birth control, and he'll like support birth control and knock down an attack on 2A in the same day, so I think it's an attempt to be fair and nonpartisan, to be liked by all, but I think he's genuinely following what he feels is right, which I don't necessarily have a problem with. A previous administration, Governor Buzzkill, he just did as he was told. He just looked around, he just looked around and did what he was told. He did whatever California did whatever the administration told him to, and was rewarded in kind. And he had he was very ornery about it. He was very should I say it? He was like a mean dad. I'm not going to use the words that I wanted to say. He was like a mean dad to everyone, who always came home angry. Wait till your father gets home. He's really going to tear you a new one. Like he was constantly tearing everyone a new one. You think these restrictions are tough? Keep doing that and you'll find out how tough I could really make things on you. He would legitimately say that to his fellow human beings who lived here. That was his way of handling stuff. This governor, I haven't seen his bad side yet. Don't want to see his bad side, but we'll see. But I think he's a little more pragmatic in his approach, not being driven by, think he's driven by his own thought processes. I don't see the outside influence yet. Yet is the operative. Will this town see masks if a three-letter acronym agency gets in the White House's ear? Yeah, there's a pretty damn good chance of it, but I don't think there'll be the shutdowns again. It might go back to that whole stage 1, stage 2, stage 3 bullshit. I honestly hope it does not. But to put your mind at ease, because I got 5 emails and a bunch of people were talking about it, and I saw it in one of those Facebook groups, yada, yada, yada. I heard the town is shutting down. Oh, I heard everyone's wearing a mask again. I'm like, where these people get half the shit from? Talking out their butts. Anyway, no. So right now, nothing. TSA is going to make their evaluation by the end of October, supposedly, and start recommending their employees wear the masks right now. But, that could change on a dime. Who knows? But supposedly it's running rampant through colleges. What do they call that? A cold? Yeah, I think it was a cold. No. The vids, I don't know. What were we talking about again? Yeah, all right. You know what I'm talking about. I got to be careful what we talk about when we talk about things like that. And, in the grand scheme of things, I think we've all either had it or are going to get it. And, if you got to put a thing over your face because you're afraid of it, I mean, would the thing over your face stop you from getting a cold? If you never, ever got a cold? Because there's something to be said for natural immunities in our bodies. I mean, the best thing that you can do for yourself is eat healthy, exercise, and bolster and boost your own immune system. And, this is not a substitute for taking care of your health. And the immune system being what it is, you need some level of exposure to germs and, in some cases, pathogens in order to develop natural resistance to said pathogens. If you've had the vid, most likely, you have a strong immunity. Not saying you're not going to get it, but just like a cold, we have natural immunities to said things. And then hopefully they'll figure out that, yes, can I say this? Ivermectin did work, along with a lot of other things that they said wouldn't and were experimental. They've proven that the horses are already out of the barn, that all that stuff did indeed work. So, hopefully if something like this happens again, we can approach it with a little more common sense. I use the country of my people, Sweden, lowest mortality rate on the planet. 0 mandates to put the thing over the face, 0 mandates to stick in the arm. What the government did of the Swedish people, land of peoples, they just told them what was up. It just simply said what's up. This is what's out there. This is what we know about it so far. This is how long we think it sits on a surface. This is how we think it passes from person to person. This is what we think it does. I mean, granted, outside of the United States, people, for the most part, are not obese like they are here. And obesity is the bozo no-no of, getting the vid or many other diseases. Obesity, despite what Lizzo says, is not healthy. Obesity is harmful to your health and opens you up to other problems. And it did indeed go after, had the worst effects on obese people, and which the majority, let's face it, the majority of the people in the United States are either morbidly obese or obese or getting obese at this point. It's the majority of the people, and the elderly, of course, because of the immune system issues. But not so much in Sweden. You're not going to see, 400-pound people walking around Sweden. For the most part, people remain fit and healthy. That being said, They told that they informed the people, made the recommendations. We think 6 feet apart's wise. We don't think, gathering and swapping spit on frickin' bottles and whatever and passing J's around. We don't think that's the way to go, because it's communicable. But you do you. You're all frickin' adults. Ended up lowest mortality, and they was scorned. Oh my God, da 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 da. They used them for the model of what finances should be and socialism. The Scandinavia, the Nordic countries, where my people are from. But when it came to that, they became the enemy. What do you mean you're going to trust your people to do the right thing and use common sense? You're not going to pass laws? You're not going to threaten them? You're not going to hold back their money? You're not going to make them fired from their jobs if they don't comply? That's when they became the enemy. But the joke's on the rest of the world now. Lowest mortality rate. Like 0.000 level shit. So, yeah. So, no, I don't think it's coming anytime soon here. And I think at the bare minimum, unless the White House gets involved, I don't think this town would be willing to roll over quite as quick. Unless all the greed that's going on in this town, and that's a subject for another show, that this town of Las Vegas is basically, I was speaking on it last night, this town used to be a town that has tourist traps within it. Now the whole town's becoming a tourist trap. Maybe, just maybe, that this is a stopgap measure, knowing that there is a possibility of another shutdown on the horizon, especially heading into the new election cycle. Maybe they're just stuffing it under the mattress. Maybe that's why me and my buddy paid $51 for 2 Red Bulls and 3 bottles of water on the strip. 51 bucks. Maybe they're just saving that for the rainy day they know is coming. I don't know. But I'm not willing to prognosticate on that. For right now, just come to Vegas. You don't have to put the thing over the face, even though you see a lot of people wearing the thing over the face. Don't sweat it. Don't sweat it. I haven't even heard. I can't even remember the last time I heard anyone in this town. I encounter hundreds of people say they had the vid. I mean, it's just so like it was the 1800s. It's kind of far behind us. However, I do know people who are claiming that they get colds. Like as soon as one ends, they have like a week or two of peace and they catch another one. I do know a lot of women who've lost their periods. There have been a lot of young athletes who have suffered maladies all the way up to, the ultimate death, that have died, that have had the thing. I don't know. That's a subject for a whole nother video too. All right, people. Rumor has it that the C8 Chevy is allergic to rubber. What? Media use control and fear. Oh, of course. I mean, that whole thing was, was one of the greatest social experiments that was ever conducted, with like substantial data that stands right behind it. That's all that was. So, interesting. And they found, not we, people are pretty damn freaking compliant. I think it even surprised the powers that be how compliant human beings were. There's no turning back. There's no turning back right now. I think they were just shocked at how compliant people are. All right. Anyway, it is 6:45. Checking out the chat. I don't see anything that I want to answer. Let me check if I missed any super chats. Nope. And thank you, Janice, for that super chat. 5 Bananagramas for super chat. And I appreciate everyone else hanging out with me. Let me flip this back here. All right, people, I'm going to get going. So, hope you found that interesting entertainment. Want to hear your comments, want to hear your thoughts. I'll probably cut this into 2 separate videos. I appreciate everyone who's watching. Don't forget to check me out tomorrow. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow because, like I said in the beginning, my whole area is having a node or something worked on from the electric company. So they're going to shut off the power at 9 o'clock to, I think tomorrow's 8 o'clock to 3 o'clock. And then again on Friday, they're going to go 9 to 2 for some type of maintenance repairs. I don't know how that's going to affect me being able to come on and do this, but we'll find out together. But the way you're going to find out is if you like, share, subscribe, and hit that bell button to get notified when I do this again, which is at least 5 times a week. And I am going to put out a State of the Union address pretty soon, which might be tomorrow if I do indeed have the time. And I look forward to seeing you. Don't forget to check out all links in the description below. I appreciate all your support, and I love you guys. And on that note, Bror Fredrik out.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.